Today I'm going to be using the Ninja Foodi Max 15-in-1 recipe book that goes with the smart lid cooker to cook the Lamb Tagine recipe. Let's jump straight into it.
1 Pizza 2 ready, cooking and unboxing videos.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Now, I've got the Lamb Tagine recipe right here in front of me. I've never made this before in the Ninja, so I'm really interested to see how this turns out. Now, I've got all the ingredients in front of me. I'm going to bring you in closer and run you through everything that I've got that's on this page. The ingredients we are going to use is olive oil, 2 tablespoons, a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. We have some lamb bouillon paste. I have half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of salt. I have 1 teaspoon of ground cumin and 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. I have 2 teaspoons of mixed herbs. I also have 500 gram of couscous. I have some beef gravy powder, just in case we need to thicken it at the end. I've got 200 grams of dates. I've got 200 grams of apricots, 200 grams of flaked almonds, 400 grams of chopped tomatoes, I've got 50 grams of butter, and I've got 350 ml of lamb stock made up with hot water, 800 grams of diced lamb, 1 large onion, 1 bulb of garlic where I'm going to use 2 or 3 cloves depending on how big they are, and a small bunch of coriander. That is everything we need to make this dish. Now we know the ingredients that we are going to use, the first thing I need to do is chop up this big onion. That's a big one. So all I'm going to do is move the coriander and the garlic and my spoon off my chopping board. We are slicing it, so I'm going to take the root off the onion and take the top off, and I'm going to slice it in half. I'm going to peel it. Get rid of these bits, and then I'm going to slice them. Wow, look at all that, and whoo, that is a strong onion. Now I've calmed down from crying, I've opened the door. I'm going to move on to the garlic. So all I'm going to do is again top and tail the garlic bulb, and then these are quite small cloves, so and I like garlic, so I'm actually going to stick, let's stick 4 in, why not? So all I'm going to do is just give him a quick little bash, just to help peel him. Don't worry, I'm not throwing the bits on the floor. I've got a little pull-out bin next to me here. And then what I'm going to do is chop these up. That's the garlic done. And as we know, onions and garlic are best friends. I'm just going to pop them on there. And then while I've got the chopping board and everything out, I'm just going to chop the coriander up, the stalks and everything. Nice and simple. And we're going to put some of this in the actual cooking, and we're going to save some for the garnish later. I'm going to now move you in closer and we're going to get cooking. So I'm going to switch the Ninja on, and straight away it will come on to sit on the saute, and I'm just going to drop the heat down to setting number 4, And I'm going to press start. And I'm going to go in with some of the olive oil. I'm going to go in with probably about half for now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that heat up, and then I'm going to go in with the onions and the garlic. The pot has now been on for 2 minutes, so we're going to go in with the onions and the garlic. And we're going to fry these off for about 6 to 7 minutes. I'm just using a wooden spoon with a flat bottom. You can use a silicone spatula, anything you want, anything that's not going to damage the pot. I'm just going to coat the onions with some of the oil. I'm going to let these cook. This has now been cooking just coming up to 6.5 to 7 minutes, and the onions are starting to soften and brown. Now personally, if this was my recipe, I would probably do this for up to the 10-minute mark to really get these softened, but I'm going to try and follow the recipe as close as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop. I'm then going to pull the onions and the garlic out. One of my pizza topping trays coming in handy. That's nearly all the onion out and the garlic. Like so. I'm now going to put this back on, sear and saute, and we're going with setting 5. Heat number 5. And it is already hot from earlier, so I'm just going to go in with half of the lamb. I'm going to do it in 2 batches so we don't overfill the pot, because we want to, just seal the edge for now. I'm going to give it a quick stir around. And then we're going to leave it so that it's on the bottom, and hopefully we can get a little bit of colour on it. Now this has been cooking again for the time that the Ninja Book recommends. Personally I think it needs a bit longer, but I'm going to follow it. So I'm just going to take this lamb out, and we shall see at the end what this is going to be like. It smells good in here. Take it all out. Not really much colour on it from that little saute at all, really. So you could probably get away with it setting a bit higher. So I'm then going to go in with the final amount of olive oil. And then the last bit of lamb. And what I'm going to do with this one, I think I'm going to try not to move it for the full 6 to 7 minutes, and just see if we can get a bit of colour on the underside. Right, let's give this a look. Now this is, to be fair, looking a lot better. The fact I've just left it, so I'll give it a quick stir around. grill. So now I'm going to go back in with the rest of the lamb and the onions. And obviously the garlic. And I'm going to give that a good mix up. Then next I'm going to go in with the cracked black pepper. I'm going to go in with the salt. I'm then going to go in with the ground cumin. I love the smell of cumin. The ground coriander. I'm going to go in with the herbs, the dried herbs. I'm going to go in with cinnamon. And I'm going to give all that a good going round. It does smell amazing already. And it's worth noting that these flat edge spoons are quite good because you can use these on the bottom of the pot safely, because what you want to do is make sure that any of the caramelization that's on the bottom of the pan is taken off. You know, deglazing the pan in a minute with some stock and the tomatoes to make sure that when we come to pressure cook it, we don't get that dreaded add water come on. Next I'm going to go in with the chopped tomatoes. I've got 400 gram or 1 can. It's going to go in. And then I'm going to go in with 350 ml of lamb stock. And again, give this a good stir around. And then what we're going to do, we're going to just turn it off. And I'm going to close the lid. And then going to lock it all the way around so that the pressure settings come on. Next, we're going to make sure that the vent on the top is in the sealed position, and we're going to leave it on high pressure cook. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go up here with the minutes to 35 minutes, and we're going to change this bit here of how it releases the pressure, and we're going to just flick that down to quick release, and that will automatically pop up. If you've seen my unboxing of this on my last video, you'll see it does this automatically. I'm then going to press start. Now, the Ninja book says that this is going to take 10 minutes to build up to pressure before it then starts counting down its 35 minutes. So, all in all, this pressure cook is going to take you around the 45-minute point. While this is finishing its quick release, I've got 500 gram of couscous in a pot, and I'm just going to tip in 500 ml of beef stock. It's actually lamb stock, not beef stock. And it's now saying that this is safe, that it's released. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some butter on the top of the couscous. So just cover it. And what that's going to do is that's going to cook the couscous. So the stock was hot, so kettle water and lamb stock, and we're just going to leave that now to cook while we finish the rest of this. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to unlock the lid and we're going to open it. Now, you need to be really careful when you open this because steam's going to come up, so if your hands right at the top, obviously you've got the potential for getting burnt. So what I'm going to do is just open it from the side like that, and so far it's looking good. So let's have a look at the meat. So let's get a piece of the meat first of all, and I'm just going to press it, and straight away you can see it falling apart already. So the pressure cook has done its thing. So next into this, what we're going to do is we're going to add the 100 grams of apricots, dried apricots, and I'm just going to sprinkle those in. I have cut them in half. I'm going to go in with 200 gram of dates, and I'm going to go in with half of the coriander and sprinkle that over. I'm then going to shut the lid again. I'm going to lock it back on, and we're going to set this to go again for another 4 minutes. So on high, we're going to knock it down to 4. I'm going to change the pressure to quick release, and then what we're going to do is just going to press start. It's now going to do another build up of pressure, and this is going to take approximately 5 minutes. So in total this next phase should take 9 minutes to cook in total, and then we've got the quick release as well. As you've just heard, it's now kicked in and it's counting down its 4-minute pressure cook. So we're coming up to the end of the 4-minute pressure cook, and we've got a quick release coming up. And there we go. And it's now saying that it's safe to open the lid. So let's have a little look. And like I said earlier, this does get quite hot, so just be careful opening it. And again, all the steam runs off round the lid and into the little catch bit at the back. So let's give it a stir. Wow, gotta say, it looks pretty good. Now, it's quite liquidy still, so I am just going to sprinkle a little bit of gravy, sort of demi-glazed powder in. I'm just going to work that in. Obviously you need to be careful that you don't mash up the pieces of lamb, because these, now if I show you, just use my little finger or just have a look how soft that lamb is now. It's really nice, and that little sprinkle has just brought that liquid just to a nice acceptable level where, you know, bit of bread as well, maybe dipping in. But the best bit is the couscous is going to soak all that up. So I think let's have a little look at the couscous. So this has only been on for the same amount of time as you've seen with the pressure cook, and if we just give it a little loosen off, you'll see that that is now a nice flaky couscous ready to soak up the juices from this lamb tagine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to put some of this nice couscous, and obviously you can add extras to this if you want. So I always sometimes like to do sort of a curry powder and sultana and orange mixture. It always works out quite nice. So got a nice pile of couscous, and then I'm going to go in with some of this tagine. Just going to lift the plate up so I can. Now this is going to be a my style portion. So meat, dates, the apricots, all them spices. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end off a lemon. I'm going to put that on the edge. I'm going to sprinkle some fresh coriander. And I do have some almonds as well, so you know, some flaked almonds over the top would be nice. However, in our family, we have my wife who is, you know, pretty allergic to nuts, so I'm not going to add it on because I don't want to give her an anaphylactic shock. However, overall, what do we think? That's the close-up. I think, considering that this dish is normally, you know, 3.5–4 hour job and it's in a proper tagine, the pressure cooker's done it pretty well in the space of about an hour, and the lamb is melting the mouth soft. Question is the recipe in this, is it any good? Now, a couple of things that we've spotted throughout this video. Personally, higher temperature to sear the lamb off, or a bit longer. Onions, a little bit longer to give it a bit more colour. That will help the flavour in the overall end product. And at the end, personally, just a little bit of thickener, just to take that watery edge off it. But proof is in the tasting, so let's have a little taste. Bit of couscous, bit of lamb. Well, I say a bit, look at that. First impressions, you know what, the lamb is so soft and tender, it's beautiful. Subtle sort of flavours coming through. If I was to make this again, my own flavours, I would add probably double the amount of ground cumin, double the amount of ground coriander, and probably a little bit more pepper. But overall, the sweetness of the apricots coming through and the dates, I think it's a pretty good dish. I really do. For, you know, straight out of the Ninja cookbook, if you've just got this, give it a go, see what you think. If you have done this, put me a comment in the comments below. Let me know what you think, and if you're going to have a go as well. Make sure you do head over to Ninja Foodi World on Facebook. That's the Facebook page that I run. However, you know, with over 8,500–9,000 people in that group as we speak, there's loads and loads of information from other members, and they kind of run it. It's, you know, it's for you guys. So thanks for joining me. I can't wait for my next cook in this. I think this, you know, since I unboxed it a couple of weeks ago, I think this is great. Can't wait to try some more dishes. If you want to give me a dish that you want to see me cook in this, again, make sure you're hitting me up with a comment, and obviously making sure you're subscribing to the channel and hitting that notifications bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Until next time, thanks again for watching, everyone. I'll see you again very soon.
One pizza too many.